But then would that happen? I feel if I just got rid of VU and spent this time doing something else, that time would be less productive on average. Although I don't know how productive this really is. Basically, it's like a sliced time capsule of me for future me to look back on. That's how I see quite a lot of the internet, and the fact other people around makes it more entertaining at the time. But so that's why I'm quite really hesitant to delete anything of me properly from the internet, even though I'd like to sometimes. But anyway, I think I like VU. I think I'll probably stick around. I'm fine. My accent skills are pretty minimal. I can start most, but then I sort of go off on some tangent and end up somewhere I didn't want to go and wasn't invited to. I can do Scottish. Scottish is okay. I don't mind a Scottish accent. I'd say it's probably my favourite of the ones that originate from my country. Gonna stop there because it's going whack already. And I'd probably say that Liverpool has the worst accent, but if I try to do that for very much longer, the worst accent, if I try to do that for very much longer, I'll end up somewhere neither of us want to be. That's the extent of what I'm going to try tonight. Sometimes, yes, it's really helpful for stuff like maths, where it's a kind of process you have to learn and develop. You don't have to develop it at all, fucking lie. Learn. And it's good for that. But when it comes to physics, you sort of have to just learn a thing, just know it, and then that's quicker to do from just reading things, I think. But Khan Academy for maths has been very useful. Well, not so much this year, but kind of a bit this year and last year. And MIT videos have also been helpful, but I find it more helpful for maths than the rest. I mean, maths is involved in all of it, but to an extent that doesn't mean I have to go scrolling through the YouTubes in order to understand how the fuck I get to this eigenvector or whatever. Boring! I'm actually rather a pessimist when it comes to things like interstellar travel and the fruitfulness of said endeavours. I mean, it's nice to go to the moon and check shit out and go to Mars and check shit out, and that's all very nice and sort of fits in very pleasantly with sort of sci-fi ideas of the world and other planets, other worlds, and the universe at large. But unless we develop something that's rather easier, I mean, of course, we could probably, maybe, develop something like that, and I think, I don't know, I think it'll probably happen at some point. Or, okay, I think it could happen, but I don't know if it will, and I especially don't know if it will in my lifetime. Sincerely doubt it will in my lifetime. But I've got the summer off, so, you know, I'm down. I'm going to tell you a story that will illustrate the way in which my exam went far better than I could just by straight up telling you, because that's boring. Boring! I went to bed last night at a respectable hour because the exam was at 10 AM this morning. Woke up, realised I'd missed the exam. Was like, holy shit, fuck, no! But then I realised I was just dreaming, and I woke up and realised I was late for the exam. But then I woke up and I was running to school. The beginning of that kind of gives us away, doesn't it? Ran to school, was like, what's the time, to this bitch, and she was all bitchy about it, like, not telling me. It's 1:45. Dick move. Eventually I got out of it and realised I'd missed the exam entirely. Then I woke up and I was lying on my bed and it was 1 AM. And I couldn't get back to sleep for 5 hours, and then I slept for 1 hour, and then I got up. But the exam was surprisingly not that bad. But now my head is quite bad, and my talking is worse. So that's why I thought this would be a good time to use and do both. When you talk about the worst thing you've ever seen, you have to clarify if you mean internet or real life. Internet worst thing is so far up the echelon tree that it just sort of becomes a bit irrelevant. It's like, meep. So, for instance, when I was in Rome, I was 19, 18, and I was just walking around at night, and it was a bit weird at night around the train station. And there was this guy who was homeless a lot. Big time homeless dude, always on the floor, sort of looking fucked. And he was just sort of getting his dick out a little bit and also pissing all over himself and the floor. And that was probably pretty much the worst thing. I don't really know why, there's just something about it that was really bad and sort of matches the shit I've seen on the internet, just because that falls lower, like, you know, Beamy Pain Olympics dude is bifurcating his dick for some reason. Well, we all know why. Recommend it. It's a good time to spend tonight for you. Do it. Beep, 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 beep. The fact that you're watching my responses live, as it were, and sending me numerous questions that you'd like me to respond to does more to that end than I think I could. Thanks. I like that this has gone far enough. This message has gone far enough that it looks like I just wrote it myself, to myself, from myself, and that the guy said I was boring. He's stuck true to his word, and he just left. He's gone. He's not coming back. My heart, I am inside it. These are just the old Sennheiser 555. 555. 3 times 5, that's 15. Getting a degree. You can get headphones that light up depending on how fast you're microing, and that's pretty much the height. We're not being condescending. It just sounds like it a lot. How fast you're microing, how fast you're micromanaging. So when you're playing in RTS, in your RTS world, in order to build the units, to make the mines or whatever, and to send your men out and to attack and to not attack and to retreat, everything has a key binding. And when you're doing that so fast, your actions per minute, the higher your actions per minute rises, the better the colour on your old earphones is. I do like Game of Thrones. It hasn't filled my heart to its highest energy level. I woke up thinking about fucking magic numbers in the same way as the Borgia did, and in the same way the Sopranos did, and the same way Mad Men did initially, and things like that. It doesn't feel as weighty for some reason. I felt the same way about the books, but I do really enjoy the series. It's good. I saw a midget today. She was so small I almost kicked her over. This is really weird. Makes me feel weird, kind of weird, but I would love to see them, so please email them to me. What email address shall I give? rose@ready-up.net. Thanks. Italy is pretty bad for this shit. I mean, I don't know if any of them mean it, if they're gonna forcefully enact it with their crotch, but Christ, they sure talk the talk. But do they rape the rape? I don't know. Apparently not. Apparently they're not so bad when it comes down to it. But I don't know, it's pretty fucking sleaze-o-matic. I was on like the streets of Macedonia, Skopje, Macedonia. It felt kind of like those dudes might, maybe sometime. That whole place was wow. The most interesting thing there was the fucking post office, because it was a pretty weird Art Deco building. Well, if we go by the empirically collected, never falsified hand penile length direct correlation routine, and we get ourselves a science, and we do ourselves a measure, then we get ourselves an 18 centimeters. Placid. Games for me to play over the summer from the start, starting afresh. The Witcher 2, Assassin's Creed 2, Mafia 2. I want to finish Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, move on to Call of Pripyat. Finish Arkham Asylum, because it's fun. Finish Dragon Age Origins. Played about 37 hours or something. Need to get to the end of that, although I'm going to have so many fucking games I'm playing. I want to finish the Penumbra games, because I want to play Amnesia, basically, and I'm in a really annoying place in Penumbra. Can't remember where, but I remember it being annoying, so I want to do that. But I'm building a new computer next month, so I'm going to be fucking obligated to get this shit done. So excited. I can't hear you through the wall of cocaine and hookers, so I can't read you, is what I'm saying. I'm illiterate, is actually the truth of the matter. Let that be a lesson to you. Whatever that lesson may be. Take it. It completely blows my... That really... Doing some coke, as you can tell from my face. Anti-coke face. Somebody asked me a question, irrelevantly. Probably this will end up being deleted also as a result of the irrelevantness. Saying, I slur my words a lot. I'm a massive druggie, clearly. I'm not a massive druggie, I just tend to do this at night when I'm kind of sleepy. Okay? I'm deleting messages, responses that are boring. Because they're boring. It's, hang on a sec. Just put my fingers there and bring them out. This big. Yeah, that got smaller than it actually is. It's like when I was a kid. And now, when I try and measure myself against people and my hand goes like that. Yep, I'm taller than you. Sucker. It's 24 inches wide, diagonally. Oh yeah. Generally speaking, my memory is quite good, but when it comes to episodes of South Park, it's fucking appalling. I don't know quite what it is. I think because they're very compacted and fairly... I don't know, they're not particularly straightforward, and quite a lot of things happen per episode usually, even though there's a general theme. Lately they haven't been quite up to... I was going to say up to snatch then. I don't know what word it is that's supposed to be there. Up to snatch. They're not really up to snatch. That episode of South Park. The only one I can think of at the moment is the Human Centipede Centipad episode. And I think I went twice in it. I understand where you're coming from with this, because when you've created something, you don't expect to have to do it again. That's just tedious and annoying. So what I suggest to you is just get a knife and just cut and keep cutting. And then he's out of your life for good, and no regretting necessary. I went to see a recording of a shit internet TV show hosted by Robert Webb, and I think maybe my opinion of him has been marred somewhat. But I think David Mitchell was always the winner here. Incredibly smart dude, incredibly funny dude, in all situations. Robert Webb is awesome as Jez. Excellent, excellent, excellent. If it was Jez versus Mark, I might even have some difficulty. But if it's David Mitchell versus Robert Webb, there's no contest. Do comedy classes exist? I mean, I guess they do, but I feel like they'd strip anyone of any comedy they had. Whenever you have a group of people deciding what's funny and what's not, you generally end up with something that's homogenized shit, and it's not a good thing, so I think I'll avoid that and just maybe do it one day. I'm feeling buck wild. I've been having incredibly boring breakfasts recently, which don't make for good stories. I eat porridge and coffee morningly, and it's something I'm kind of ashamed of, but also it's a good breakfast, man. It's a good base for the day. It starts off, and it's nice to have that there. As soon as I start chomping breads, delicious breads at breakfast, and I have a hunger for breads that just cannot be tamed. But breads is fucking great. I love breads. I'm really bad at bowling. Like, kind of joke bad. I mean, not quite joke bad, but I have this thing where it curls every fucking time. I don't mean it to, but every time it curls, so I have to aim off slightly. And that doesn't make it straightforward, and it's not consistent either. So I'm pretty much near the bottom of the pile in the bowling screen. And that really hurts my soul quite deeply. I'm not able to cope with that well. And I expect myself to get better, but it doesn't seem to happen. So Laser Quest, even though it's really expensive and I haven't done it for ages, I would love to do it if it was cheaper. Cheaper! God damn it, fucking London. Kinda. Sometimes, if I'm not doing something I should really be doing imminently, then it's like everything I'm doing is a fucking waste, but I don't feel it quite so much as I could do, which means I don't stop, I think, often. But when I have nothing to do and I'm just like, you know, lying on the bed for 4 hours watching a fly, I'm very happy to do that, and I enjoy every wasted second. I play Akuma, and I play Akuma so much that anytime I try and play any other character, I'm still trying to throw air fireballs. Don't get me wrong on this, I'm not one of the people who will stick absolutely to DDoS 2 in any sort of, in an actual game where, you know, you play and then you die and you wait for the next round. I like to play all the maps, most of the maps in that situation. I don't like just playing DDoS 2 over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, like a lot of people do. But I spent quite a lot of time on deathmatch servers that are DDoS 2 just constantly, and it gets me into a very nice state of mind that is probably unhealthy, but I just know everywhere on that map, and it's fucking perfect for that setup, and I really like deathmatch, even though I'm slightly ashamed of it, just because it seems like Tardo Counter-Strikes or Counter-Strike. But I do it, and I love it. I'm really enjoying Gun Game lately, which is another example, I feel, of retardo Counter-Strike. But, I don't know. When a new Counter-Strike game comes out, I promise I'll play it properly. I promise. I don't really like DDoS though. Like the original DDoS, I think it's a little, I don't know. I played it so much, getting flashbanged down that stupid when you go left and there's the thing. And then if you go the other way, which I liked doing with my AK-47, you get sniped. And that's just super good with the AK-47, so I always wanted to go that way, because sometimes you can knock them off and feel fucking amazing. But I never felt, I don't know, it doesn't do well for me. I'm sort of slightly rash, and that map is very much, it pays to not ever do anything risky. And I'm not such a fan of those kind of maps. In the summer, I get kind of a colour, and freckles, which just look like I got splattered with dirt. One year I was on a beach, a nude beach, in Barcelona. I didn't get naked, come on. I was led there under false pretenses. Damn you, Rafa. This guy was called Rafa, he owned the hostel, he worked at the hostel. Really liked the fact I was doing physics, because quantum mechanics means that, you know, hippie, Rafa, come on. Anyway, when I went to this beach, I was kinda, oh fuck, I've been in Spain for 3 weeks and I'm not burnt in the slightest. I am amazing. Do a little bit of the old but really, I'm pretty much invulnerable to this frying heat and UV rays. Came away from that with pretty bad, pretty weird, pretty quilted tan that was just like lines and patches and weirdness, kind of looked like a disease. So I had some tan, but even then it wasn't like, a tan. It was just easily delineated from the regular transparency. So, transparent. That's the way I am. I didn't go outside for a really long time when I was a kid, and it makes me think that rickets is a myth. keep at it. I don't know what you like or don't like, or what you might or might not have heard of, therefore. I've been listening to Paul Bazan a lot recently. He's from Pedro the Lion. One of my favourite bands is called Saetia, Saetia. You might hate them. Don't know who you are. Probably hate them. I'm seeing The Weakerthans this month, quite soon. Woo. And Modern Life is War are a good band that I've been listening to quite a bit lately, who I didn't listen to for a long time. Austin Lucas is like a country dude that I like listening to. I've seen him a few times, and his songs are really great, and his lyrics are great, but as soon as he gets on stage, he can't fucking talk for shit, and it's like weird disparity. Algernon Cadwallader, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see them live. They're playing in July, and I'm probably not going to be here. I bought a ticket for it just in case I'm here. They're really good, really like them. Those are some just off the top of my crown for you. This is such a weird question. I remember when I was a kid, I was on the internet. I was just talking to some guy. I wasn't a kid, I was like 14 or 15. And I said I was from England. And he stopped talking to me because he said there's no black people in England, and he was black. It stuck with me as a strange thing. Also, I was outside once. Fucking anecdotes. And I stopped because I was waiting to meet someone. Just as these black guys were walking by, and the black guy turned to me and said, "Fucking racist." I haven't dated a black guy, but if he was a cool guy, sure, why not? Except I have a boyfriend who's not black, sorry. At the moment, it's YU. YU, blah, 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 with a Y. And Le does something. Le does something. Bleh. I fucking hate it all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. I mean, because I have this weird thing I do on the internet that's a bit like this, I feel like anything anyone says to me doesn't quite apply to the actual me that is me just hanging out on my computer reading them. So that's kind of helpful, but I think even if that wasn't there, it's just like the internet is just it's a whole new world, and don't you dare close your eyes, but just laugh wholeheartedly the whole way. It's a magic carpet ride. Slightly despairing and somewhat depressed. It's my favourite kind of comedy, and just very honest and unashamed. People who have no consideration for other people, basically. If you're stupid, I don't really give a fuck as long as it doesn't affect me directly. Such as was the case yesterday in a cinema. If you're stupid, be quiet and I really won't mind. It won't affect me. Won't impact on my life. But if you're stupid and you talk in a cinema, then life sucks. Life just sucks when I'm sitting in there and you're talking. There was a guy next to me yesterday. I turned to him and said, "Shh." Yeah, I went there. Sometimes you say shut up, but this was early on. And I just went, shh, because he said, sorry. But he was still talking to himself, sometime afterwards. It's not alright. And there was somebody else with a fuck off bag of popcorn, and then get some, and she was just staring ahead. Like, I just kept just looking at her, just like, what the fuck? But she was quite far away and didn't know I was staring in hatred. But I mean, she seemed kind of just absolutely oblivious to the insane amount of noise she was making at regular intervals. And I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. People are just so oppressive and stupid, and that drives me crazy. If you're stupid and quiet, that's alright. I guess you can still exist. Be better if you didn't, but I'll give you a free pass. If you're loud and annoying in the cinema, or even just get your phone out to check a message, then fucking you're gone. I've talked about Wolfram Alpha before, but I'm going to talk about it again. Because although at that time I said it was a great thing, it was going to be great, all I use it for is quick integration when I'm doing a bunch of homework and can't be fucked. Well, you kind of have to be fucked. They don't let you not be fucked, even if it's by parts integration. They want to see every constituent part, no matter how tedious it is. So I just use it to check my result is reasonable. By parts. I don't know. I don't have any plans at the moment, and might not have money for that kind of shit. I would really like to go to Gamescom in Cologne, but fuck, man, Cologne, place to stay in Cologne is so expensive. Germany is a dick of mammoth proportions, as has been historically the case. Fucking hotels follow suit, and hostels. Hostels, like 20 quid a night for a dorm room. Jesus. I'm really bad at favourites, so this is going to be shit, just to forewarn you. Books. I don't even know what to say as a possibility. Lord of the Rings. That's very safe, isn't it? It's like saying The Godfather Part 2 is your favourite film, which I also will say in a favourite film list. I don't really have specific favourites because I can't do it, because I'm weak. I really liked House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielowski, even though his follow-up was beyond shit and made me question the original book. And I haven't read it for many years, so I'm kind of going on my younger opinion, which probably isn't very trustworthy. I think it's somewhat trustworthy, but not the whole way. The Bandini Quartet by John Fante. Specifically Ask the Dust. I haven't seen the film because I don't want to see the film because the whole thing is dreadful. Colin Farrell. I mean, I hate Colin Farrell, but I like him sometimes, and that kind of makes me like Colin Farrell, but for the most part, he's not good. He's not. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that now, because it's been fucking too long in a too long zone, and I've answered the first question. Actress Cate Blanchett. Holiday, Euro trip, I don't know what year it was in, with Flufffest that I've talked about previously, that you can go back and check, and I said the wrong date then. So good. Dessert, I'm skipping right to the end because the others were too challenging for me. Tiramisu, maybe? I really like tiramisu, a lot. But I also really like carrot cake. You know what? I just kind of fucking love cake in all of its different forms. I love, like, heavy chocolate cake. Oh, it's gone by. I can't even relate to you how shocked I would be. The thing is, you don't even get to see the best ones because I can't even think of a way to answer them. I could just stare at the webcam instead of, trying to say anything about them. But I feel like that might get a bit old. I'm really sorry for questions that have been asked to you, Haggis, and others. Whoever's doing it, can you please stop? Because it's embarrassing and a bit shit. And makes me look like a dick too, I think, so I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Well, I wouldn't want to be so bold as to say, you tell me. I went to see Win-Win at the Cineworld Haymarket, and it was good. Do you want to know why it was good? There were 3 things that made it good. Okay, ready? It was cheap, it was quite big, and it was quiet. 3 things out of all of the things in the world, just 3. What? Why is that so hard? What? Why? What? Why? What? Aliens. And I'll tell you for why. So ghosts are proven to exist, and therefore they've existed for all these years, with pretty much zero impact on any of our lives, apart from maybe someone saw a ghost once, and the expression, you look like you saw a ghost, because you're white and scared of a ghost. Ghosts are boring. Really, really boring. Aliens aren't. They might come and fuck our shit up, and won't that make for an exciting time? I do read, alright? Let's not portray me as some form of illiterate. I'm just busy. Have I done this before? Probably. That's the way it goes. Off the back of Dune, I'd probably recommend The Earthsea Quartet by Ursula K. Le Guin. Because in my mind it's in the same sort of box, because I don't have categories, just fucking boxes in my brain. Or, if you really want to go for the serious element, I don't know, like, I recently read The Foundation, the first book in the series by Isaac Asimov, and I thought it was going to be really boring, from lots of people telling me, yeah, it's really boring, but it wasn't boring. I really liked it. It very much appealed directly to me. I'm taking a break by reading a different book. I have the next one in the series, but now this other book is like, can't you just get out of the way? I want to go read the second Foundation book. So, the Earthsea Quartet is more fantasy-esque, I guess, and more about sort of, it's basically about a kid who can do some shit, like Dune kind of was, and that always appeals to me when it's Harry Potter. I'm sorry, but it's true. I'm ashamed, but that's fine. But the Foundation trilogy, it's not a trilogy, it's a series, is very serious in that it's sort of politicsy and in that way oriented. So choose one and report back with your enjoyment factor. I really don't care very much about money. I know people who are going to work really, really hard to get really, really shit jobs that earn them a shitload of money. I don't want to do that because it's shit. I just want to do something that I enjoy doing, hopefully, maybe, or something that just gets me enough money to get by on, and hopefully isn't killing me in the process. So, if I was dating someone and they were really, really, really rich, that would be fucking awesome. Equally, if I was really rich, I would share the money liberally with whoever I was with, and if they had a problem with that, I'd think they were stupid. So, yes, I would. Yes, I did, and I'm going to build another one pretty soon. I have some parts here. Here is one of the parts. Oh, the K. Look at the K. Just look at it. Oh, fuck. And I think this looks fucking retarded. G-Skill. I almost bought different RAM that was £6 more expensive just because it looked less extremely retarded, but I didn't, because that would be stupid. Really, I just need some tape. Just tape it down like this, and just walk around like that, and then I won't have such a huge nose problem, and I'll save a lot of money in the process. The only thing I care more about than biscuits is cake. So this is a tough question for me, because there's such a wide variety of biscuits available to my chomping mouth, and my phone keeps doing that, even though no one's trying to call, trust me. My favourite biscuit, I really like gingerbread men. Does that count as a biscuit? Because it is a man. I also really like digestive biscuits, plain chocolate digestive biscuits, and plain chocolate hobnobs. This is the symbol for plain chocolate, somehow. I'm just picking up on it instinctually from my past life as a deaf person. And I also really like Fox's biscuits that are just insanely fucked. I just had a packet, and they're gone now, and I miss them. Insanely fucked, just like fat and chocolatey and like and you want to eat them all. It's kind of like Pokemon, but you eat them. And I really like fat cookies like this big, as wide as my face, from supermarkets that you get in packs of 5. Woo! And I really like all manner of fucking biscuits. Oh my god, I love biscuits so much. I think talking about specific sections of the game is sucky because it's spoilery, and I think anybody going into it should try and know nothing about it, or, you know, the vague premise of it's kind of fucking scary, and just go in on it from there, from that angle. But, it's fucking great. Initially, I didn't play the first one for ages, and then I finished it the other day, and I moved on to the second one. And obviously Amnesia is on the horizon, and that's originally the reason I was playing them. It's just like, fuck, just gotta get through to Amnesia. I'm interested in these games kinda, but I just want to get through to Amnesia, but actually these games are fucking awesome. And that is my impression in general, I think. I really like the way it's written. I like the design of it, I guess. Initially not so much, it can be a bit of a grind, but it's kind of cool. I really like getting to new rooms where you feel safe and you can just look around and stuff. It really creates a sense of when you're not in a room that you know is safe, which I like about a game. Dead Space did it quite well too. So yeah, I would say recommended highly, most highly. I hope you enjoy it. I mean, obviously you've played it, but I mean anybody who hasn't played it. Pterodactyls. Roughly 4 or 5 pterodactyls. And 1 chick. There's obviously lots of weird shit on the internet, because it's the fucking internet. Beanie Pain Olympics, I guess that's kind of porn. And everything in between. Nothing very frightening has happened to me, so I find it difficult to know what I do. This is knowing. Oh my god, my hand skills are off the fucking chart today. I think I would freeze. And I'll tell you why I think this. Yesterday, I was gonna go have a shower and then I got hiccups. And I froze. I just stayed here and I was like, I'm gonna wait till these hiccups finish because I don't really want to have a shower while I've got hiccups. You know, you can fix hiccups immediately by drinking out of a glass backwards, but for some reason I froze. Actually, I just went back on the internet. I was just like, browse. And I was terrified. I'm telling you now, and I froze. So that's it. Okay, well here's a little bonus, because although I think these things that I eat are cakes that I want to talk to you about, they are sort of biscuity. So there's a divide there where I might not dump them in the cake category, and might not dump them in the biscuit category if I was thinking about either side of the category, which is there's a line between it. Thornton's caramel shortcakes. I mean, all caramel shortcakes. Well, not all, but a fair number are fucking mind-blowing. It's a layer of biscuitiness, and a layer of caramel, and a layer of chocolate. Have you come across this? It's fucking amazing. It has a considerable part to play in my biscuit life, if indeed it is a biscuit. I've read I, Robot by Asimov, but I haven't read the Robot series, and in all honesty, it doesn't draw me inexorably towards it, because robots, meh. I could see why I, Robot was important in sci-fi, just to sort of get that stuff ironed out, and it was cool to see. It sort of felt, you know, it's just very basic, but incredibly necessary to build a lot of things on. So is the Robot series more of that, just like more a different way of illustrating those rules, or is it more bulky? I don't know, I can't feel too compelled to read it right now, but maybe with added information I could be compelled wholeheartedly towards it. The only other book by Asimov that I've read is The End of Eternity, which I enjoyed,
because it's about time travel, and that gives me a massive boner every time. When I played Morrowind, when I started playing Morrowind, because I didn't get very far, I'd never played something on such a massive scale before, and it was like, whoa, what the fuck, and I felt way in over my head, which is, you know, weird to think of now, but I've never done anything like it, and I joined a guild, and I was just like, what have I done? I don't know if I even want to be in this guild, and I had to do all this stuff, and it's like, crushing weight of responsibility, and I just fucking left that shit behind. Just tucked it away and tried not to think about it ever again. So thanks for bringing that back. And Oblivion, I played a little bit of, and it was just like, blah, blah, and I fell asleep vomiting. Hopefully Skyrim can give me something that I'll enjoy. Yes, but it has become knowledge that my arcade stick, which is the one you get for 360 that's cheap and nothing like the amazing ones you have, fuck you, the light kick button is kind of fucked. So if you are getting Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition for PC and you play me, the fact that I have lost is in part due to the fact I haven't played it for months and months, but also owing to the fact that I have to have extra added skill, because that light kick button is a beast, and you have to give it a strong fingering for it to do its job. The thing about my thumb is that it's kind of like a finger. Observe. It's quite long. I mean, maybe you're not getting it so well, but there you go. It's kind of finger-like, maybe in a freaky way, like anti-Megan Fox, but finger. Finger thumb, they call me. It's a moniker I've taken and made my own. No, I really haven't. I've never been called that, basically, is what I'm saying. So, in a thumb war, I can reach, so far. So as long as they're not doing the illegal thumb maneuvering, I will quite likely grab them and take them down. But if they're much stronger than me, then they're going to be able to get out of that. So yes and no, I'd say. Well, it kind of didn't include the shit porn, the puke porn, the piss porn. That's not even weird anymore. It's a fucking category on every website, because it's got handles. So this is my most recent treat. And another treat is coming tomorrow morning. Maybe even 3 treats if you include thermal paste as a treat, which I most certainly do. My internet's being a massive jerk right now, so hopefully this goes through high. The computer is tower. That fucked up. The computer case is a mid-tower. Just watch this again and watch how much I just completely failed at saying that the first time. You can look up the measurements if you like. It's a Cooler Master Storm Scout. It's a scout because you can, like, move it and shit. Yeah. Mobility and swift intelligence. Yeah. I assume you're talking about the what was my last treat I bought question. No, I didn't ask myself that, although it may seem that way, because obviously I'm going to jerk off all over my new case on the internet. Actually, it was asked by Sure You Dan, and other people answered it as well because it was a mass question, which validates my claims. And how dare you think that of me? I hadn't even considered that that was what was happening. No, it doesn't disturb me, because I guess whenever I go on the internet, my disturb fields just spontaneously shut down. That hair doesn't even seem to be mine. You can't see it. I don't know what I'm showing you. No, it's not difficult. It's basically slightly more stressful, slightly more fiddly Lego, and anyone can do it. It's definitely worth the initial amount of stress for the years of joy it gives you. The mouse is fine. The keyboard, also fine. From the Surface. The WASD keys have a kind of... They look like they are instilled with indelible grease, a finger sweat that has permeated the layers of plastic to find a permanent home. But other than that, it's fine. Just some a bit of dust. And let's not even think for a moment what could be lurking under those keys. You know the Happy Birthday song? Is that sung in slowed down monotone throughout the lands? I think it is. I think it has, because Michael Jackson copyrighted the Happy Birthday song, so I couldn't sing it anyway, so I'd probably end up getting sued by a dead man. But, you know, I hope you have a happy birthday if that's what you want to do. Whoop whoop! I'm really excited to play Red Orchestra 2. It's taking for fucking ever to come out. There was a message on the Steam forum, well, Steam community, Red Orchestra 2 community, today the official one, and it seemed to suggest that it would be out in 2 to 3 months. And I'm so excited about that. Please come out soon, and please also come out before Battlefield 3. Seems like it should do. But we could do a little leeway, I think, there. Slip it in. I don't even mind if we can't, because we will. At length. Every orifice. You know that what you've described there is you being bad at a game? I'm not sure if you're aware of that. It doesn't seem like you are. Personally, I really loved TF2 before it became Hatsville and Buy Shit Manco. The game itself was great fun, but you do have to get good at it, and there are different classes that you have to play very differently, and it's super multifaceted and super deep gameplay because of it. But how you describe that, you haven't described anything wrong with the game, you've described something wrong with you, and that's that you're shit at it. Sorry. I spent the afternoon reading reviews online of prostitutes in my area, and while it's perhaps not as succinct as a joke might be, in terms of retelling, or even hearing initially, it was pretty funny. I only read the bad reviews as well. I recommend it. You played against bots, and 2 are enough to instantly kill you. Huh. I guess you're right, the game is shit. I don't really see how it could have not been shit. Like, if it wasn't shit, I don't know, I just can't even imagine that reality ever existing anywhere. No matter how many different quantum worlds there are, somehow that would always have been avoided. My CPU is broken. Shit. I don't know. I have to talk really slowly so you can hear me, and it's boring. Otherwise, it sounds like this. Hi, it's me. I know. You shouldn't do that. I don't want that to happen. It will make me feel like a dickhead. I put games on my wishlist so I know where they go on sale, and so that the developers know I give a fuck. I do those tests when I'm bored, and I get INTJ and INTP. So apparently I'm both, but not simultaneously. Just, I take turns with the J and the P and the PJs. I'm afraid I don't actually use foundation. I mean, in the summer I feel like it because I have freckles and they make me look like a filthy peasant. But I haven't done yet. So I'm absolutely no use whatsoever. I'm sorry. Yeah, I will be going to the Eurogame Expo. I've gone every year since I've been in London. And although it's usually kind of depressing in some way, there's always something nice to see or do. And it's just cool going to such a massive nerd fest. So yes, I'll be there. Are you going to be there? Are you going to be looking around for me? If so, come say hi, because it's a safe environment and I won't feel scared. Is this even a real question? My favourite swear word, nearly prematurely ejaculated then, is fuck. Fuck, it's great. I love fuck. I know that this is a mass question sent to the entirety of the website, Steve Spurgat, but I feel like saying yeah. I think the updates are fucking great. Congratulations.
I've never bought a game from GOG.com, Good Old Games, which I don't feel very good about. I think I should have bought something from there by now, but I haven't. I was going to buy XCOM when it was on sale, but then I forgot. Because it's not blaring in my face like Steam is. I love Steam blaring in my face, don't take that the wrong way. But yeah, I missed out. My wrist really hurts, and not from me much. I've been playing Bit Trip Run like too much, and my wrist hurts, and I haven't gone outside in a long time, and I'm feeling a little bit like I'm made of a computer, or, you know, tomorrow I should go outside. Yes. I bought a book by Ian M. Banks called Consider Phlebas, I don't know, from a book sale thing that was outside in the heat, in the sun. It was a good book thing outside in the heat and the sun, but it was more than I expected to pay. Anyway, that's a book I'm planning to read. I also have a pile of sci-fi that I plundered from my dad when I went back home for a little while. So there's those. But yeah, Ian M. Banks, I've only ever read his fiction, and I think I only ever read The Wasp Factory. And I didn't really like it at the time, but it stuck in my mind so much because it's such a weird book that I think that makes it good. I did enjoy it, but it was just like, what? It was quite a few years ago. But anyway, I'm really interested to read his science fiction. So that's an book. I love the Steam calculator because it's such a fucking lie. Every game I've bought, almost, has been in a sale. So what it says there, I can safely shove away from my brain, even though the actual number probably isn't that far away, but hey, some people have expensive drug habits and they spend a lot more than I ever have. Plus the fact I don't drink. I don't drink, guys. I don't drink, and that means I save so much fucking money you wouldn't even believe it. So I don't drink, I play games. That works. This is a difficult one to answer because, okay, so Isaac Newton gave us calculus, which is pretty handy, but Leibniz developed calculus independently somewhere else, I think around the same time or slightly after. So the thing with that is that if it would have been developed otherwise, even if he hadn't existed, then it depends what you mean by greater impact. Like calculus, I think, is more okay, so I'm going to assume you mean the person Isaac Newton. So he developed calculus, and so did someone else. Therefore, forget Newton. It would have happened anyway. But with Einstein's theories of relativity, I think the way he came to it, and I'm incredibly impressed by Einstein's existence and what he did and what his brain worked like. And I think it doubtful that anybody else would make such leaps for, you know, my lifetime at least. So I think impact, badly framed question for my purposes, but I'm going to say Albert Einstein anyway. Before it became an avalanche of maths, it was much less specialist, so the things you do would be a little bit of this, a little bit of that, little tasters of things that are interesting, like at college, and now it's just like, one thing forever, going deeper, and a lot of those things that we're going deeper on are fucking boring as shit, and therefore the avalanche of maths is also boring as shit. So yes, physics was more fun before I started studying at university, because I got to do all the fun shit and didn't have to dwell so much on the massively boring side of it. Yep, I have a massive soft spot for pop punk, and Blink-182 fit in a soft spot, nestled in with a bunch of other pop punk. I had to go through quite a few pages to find this question. I didn't want to just send it to myself, and I could have made it better as well and actually had it be a question and not just a statement. Anyway, the point is, I'm now doing this, so you can go to youtube.com/RosePlaysGames and watch me play games. Whoring it out all fucking day. It's over now though, it's over. It's horde everywhere. I'm done. Thank fuck. I grew up with 2 younger brothers, so yeah, of course I've been punched in the face, but for no other reason than being someone's big sister. Is it because I seem like an elitist dickhead? I really like Death Is Not Glamorous, Tiger's Jaw, The Movie Life, NoFX, Saves the Day, Set Your Goals, I Am the Avalanche, Fireworks. Is that enough? I think this list has gone on for long enough. Even though the list extends beyond that, I'm gonna just draw it to a close. The list has ended. They're fun. They're genuine, actual fun. They're fun. I mean, they're only fun when you actually try. I used to just be a button masher, an occasional button masher in a few fighting games, and that's not very fun. There's some fun, but it doesn't last very long, and especially not when you're playing someone who's in anywhere near decent. But once you actually start learning moves, you start to appreciate the skill involved in fighting games, and that appeals to me hugely. And winning games is just incredibly satisfying, and makes you want to play more, and to get better, and to win more. It's a great genre avenue of game. Awesome fun. Massive learning curve. Good thing. I'm delighted to hear it. I like hearing these things that people are telling me about how my videos have actually affected them into positive actions like building their own PCs, because they see how easy it is. Super awesome. The whole endeavour has been validated already. Because I'm 8 years old. You're correct. I'm from Somerset, and I do have a faint hint of West Country, and it's not going to go away, I don't think. Most of the time I don't notice it, but sometimes I do notice it, and sometimes other people notice it, as in this instance. That is the world of my accent. Red Orchestra 2. I didn't remember them now. But Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, but that wasn't in the sales, that was just a 4-pack, but it occurred during the sales, so I'm going to say it. Okay, now the tough shit starts. Bit Trip Runner, The Witcher 2, Loom, Nick's Quest, Inside a Starfield Sky, Hamilton's Great Adventure, Magica, Syra, okay, there are 3 more that I can't remember. You can't see me. So I looked at your Steam and you played it for 1 hour. In the first hour I think I was enjoying it. The thing with the game is that it's made a world that no other game really has, which is incredibly, I mean, I haven't played Fallout, but I still don't think it would do it as well because it's polished. There's a thing about Stalker that it's not incredibly polished. And that's what lends itself incredibly well to the environment that needs to be created, which is post-apocalyptic wasteland. Everything's so fucking desolate. It's just, oh man, just the world that it is amazing, and whenever I play it, I haven't played it for ages, but you just get sucked in and it just feels so affecting and awesome, and everything feels just like you can't trust anything in the game. I really like it. I think it's awesome, but if you're not enjoying it now, you might not ever. Sucks to be you. I've re-asked myself this question. The sin, I've done it because I forgot to say some things. I'm running a mod on mine, or was running a mod on mine, the 2009 Complete mod. I think they've brought out a new version of that, the 2012 mod, because they're ahead of us in time. And that sort of is a graphical overhaul and better textures and things like that, so it's very worth doing. But another thing, I heard someone in a podcast once, I can't remember which podcast, so I just direct you to it, but he was talking about, he put on a realism mod, or the realism mod on his Stalker, and that means you have to be at a camp at night basically, otherwise you will die and you sleep through the night because it's just a shit time to be alive.
But he was very weak because he'd run out of food, and you need food to survive in that, with the realism mod. And no one was giving him any food, so he sort of watched someone from the shadows. He watched them by the fire, and then he waited until they went to bed, and then he followed them into their tent and killed them and stole their food and ate it. And I think a game that makes somebody do that and feel guilt for it as well is a pretty great game. The fact that an 11-year-old is watching my videos and deciding that I might be a good source of advice is quite frankly worrying. I'm not a good person. I'm not acceptable in our society. This isn't okay. Don't do anything I say ever. But good luck. I hope someone else can help you. Those are just most of the questions I'm getting at the moment. You could ask me something else instead of just fucking bitching. I consider myself to be something of an outsider, because a lot of people like a lot of shit things, and I don't really like things that are shit. But there's also another part of it that is a human thing, and I see it, you know, on the internet and in life. People like to like things collectively. They like to sort of homogeneously like things, and it kind of heightens. I mean, obviously there's a lot of conflict that goes on as well, but this is something I see. It sort of heightens their enjoyment of something when they're talking to a lot of people who like the same thing, or just some people. Whereas for me, I don't get any benefit out of that. If I like something, I'll like it, and talking about it, whatever, okay. So I think I'm something of an outsider, but not in an isolated sense. Does that compute at all? I don't know if I'm making any sense at all, but have a grasshopper anyway. I really liked Puronage. It went a bit shit towards the end, but at the start it felt awesome to be watching Puronage. And there was nothing at all like it at the time, especially because there was so much PC stuff. When it kind of went away from the PC, it was a bit like, But I started watching their TV show that they had aired in Canada or something, and I liked it. I watched the first few episodes and I was like, yeah, this is alright. It was much better. I thought it was just going to be shit, but it was okay. But I haven't watched the rest of it, which I plan to sometime. So, although I do miss it and the time that it existed, I also have stuff from that time, well, from more recently, that I haven't seen yet, so I don't miss it as such. I'm not a good person for this because I don't find many things scary, because I'm fucking badass, obviously. I don't know, I just don't. So it wasn't scary to me. But I liked it. Anyway. I'm just going to give you the standard explanation that you probably heard already. So, here's a 2D plane. Okay? On this 2D plane, you can have a reflection of a cube, and that's just your standard line drawing of a cube. But okay. So in that way, you can see the third dimension, kind of. If you have a comprehension of what 3 dimensions look like, then you'll understand what that drawing is. So in that way, from a 2D plane, you can view 3 dimensions. Similarly, from the 4th dimension, we can have a sort of... If you check out Hypercube, you have to see the Hypercube in 3D really, but I mean if you check out a picture, you'll sort of be able to gather it a bit. That's the equivalent of a line drawing of a cube, but of a hypercube, which is a 4th dimensional cube. And another thing to think about is that here's a 2D plane, and we're in 3D. So if we were to pass through this 2D plane, imagine there's some little flatlanders on here, living on their 2D plane. If I was to put my hand through like this, they would see rings, right, of my weird fingers coming through the page. I don't know if that makes sense. So somebody could theoretically, from the 4th dimension, pass through the 3 dimensions we have in a similar way, and we'd see like weird shit going on. I don't know if that's helpful at all. There's a really good book called... I don't remember what it's called. If you want to read it, then ask me this question again, and I will find out. Okay, it's called Surfing Through Hyperspace, Understanding Higher Universes in 6 Easy Lessons by Clifford A. Pickover.
The cops are onto you though, so you better hurry up. I'm quite ragey, which lends itself well to the mass spree killing side of things, but I don't want to go to jail or die, essentially. So the methodical side of things, the serial killing angle, will probably help in those aims. But I mean, seriously, I don't think I have that sort of malicious foresight. I can't plan it out so strategically and surgically. It's just going to be a moment of abject insanity, so I think I'm just going to have to accept my fate of the mass spree killing shit. Not really. A bit. Kinda. I mean, I think I'm a bit of a bad person on the internet because it's more amusing to me personally. And that's an aspect of me. And also I think I'm kind of a bad person slightly in real life. Sometimes. So yeah, I'm horrible. The Pano. I'm really good at playing the Pano, it's just making other people hurt. I don't really know. I'd assume we're pretty confined, but assuming makes an ass out of you and me. So let's not do that. Like, a lot of maths and physics is just jerking off to me. Well, not jerking off, just partaking, as I've stated previously, in a particularly involving Sudoku puzzle. But maybe it'll get us somewhere. Maybe it'll get us nowhere. Maybe we'll be able to see. Maybe we won't be able to see. It's the beauty of science, we don't know what the fuck. I've adjusted the camera so that we can check this out experimentally on the field in my bedroom. You can see the tip of my bed, but please ignore it and just watch the glory that is me possibly touching my toes in a second. I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can't see my toes, so you're just going to take my word for it when I do it. Ready? I'm touching my toes. I actually am. Seems like a lie, but it's not. Unfortunately, that means you've just missed the best thing that's ever been on this thing. Whatever the fuck this is. I'm sorry. That's a no and a yes, respectively. You should research some of this stuff on youtube.com/coppercab. He clears a lot of things up. Gingers apparently actually do have souls, which I personally didn't know. I noticed that someone asked me how I cut my fringe before, it might have been you, but I was going to wait until I was going to cut it to show you, but fuck it, it doesn't seem to be happening. Basically, I get the scissors, and I get bits of my hair, and I do this with the scissors, sort of cut slowly and go upwards like this, so it sort of grinds along it and cuts it off at uneven angles, and just go along doing that with the scissors along like this. So it's all sort of kind of a similar length, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to the side anyway, so you can't actually tell either way. Yeah, that's my technical tips for you. Yeah. Not Rod Stewart. Oh no 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 no. Don't tell me it's not worth trying for. You can't tell me it's not worth dying for. You know it's true. Everything I do it for you. What does this even mean? Does it mean like in the time I've been making videos you think my face has changed, or do you think I just have a general look of somebody who's had plastic surgery? Totally confusing. I've never had plastic surgery, believe it or not. Don't have that kind of money, for one thing. South Park. I really like The Simpsons. I like old Simpsons though. I don't like new Simpsons. I feel like it went to shit and they didn't care. I don't know, like, just went wacky as fuck. I understand that they had no storylines left, basically, because they've done everything in the world, but it's still, like, they could have finished, they could have stopped making it instead of just poof. But South Park has, I feel like it's had integrity throughout. It's, even when it's not funny, I don't hate it, and although the previous season wasn't hilarious, the final episode, well, of the final episode of that section series, I assume, was very good, and, like, just makes you believe in the show and in the people who are behind the show. It feels very genuine. Futurama I do like. I have a fondness. Well, I like it. I don't love it. It's quite funny. I quite like it. It's alright. And SpongeBob, it had its time for me. Like, I went through when I first saw it on TV, it was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Has touches of Ren and Stimpy, which are always welcome, but not enough. And meh, it's had its day, I think. So South Park. The excitement scale for BF3 is sort of decreasing, like a point a month, it seems. First, the like pre-order DLC kind of shit. Didn't like that, splintering the community from an early juncture. Now the Origin stuff, not on Steam thing. Don't know what the story is with that, but I don't like it. And I don't have much faith in EA, and I really want to play Red Orchestra 2, and that's far outweighing my excitement for Battlefield 3. But I hope it works out and is good, but it's just getting harder and harder to have faith that that's the case. Yeah, I saw this, it's gone now. Which is sad. I found out that I have a lazy eye from that thread. Everyone was very helpful, because knowledge is power. It's good for me to know these things. It's also good for me to know that I have a Jew potato nose. That's what I learned last time. I don't really care about Bear Grylls. It's partly to do with the fact that he was staying in a hotel when he said he was staying in the wild, and his integrity is just completely shot from that point on. But it's mostly because Ray Mears. I really like all the tips I got on the video. Yeah. The thing is, though, they laid some eggs, like, before I had the chance to do anything about them. I was going to wait till the kids flew away, because I'm not that heartless, just semi-heartless. You can't be semi-less. Moving on. So I was waiting till the kids flew off, and the kids flew off, and it's like, sweet. But in the one-day window they left, there were already eggs laid. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, and I felt like I couldn't do anything about that, but they seem to have abandoned the eggs. Which they don't do, I'm telling you now. I've watched the life of several pigeons over several months. Well, these pigeons. And they like to sit on those eggs. They like to never leave them. But it seems that they want them dead as much as I do. Which is handy, but at the same time I don't know what to do. Suspended animation eggs, or what the fuck? Can I just toss them into the street and sprinkle pepper and fairy liquid the whole place up, or is that... I don't know. BitTrip Runner is an amazing game. Have you played it? Shut the fuck up, really. That's what I'm saying to you now. Here, hi, bye. Yeah, I do wonder. Especially, like, I don't know if it's the same person asking lots of questions. I think often it is, or sometimes it is. But I don't fucking know. I wish there was some distinguishment, even if it was Anonymous 1, Anonymous 2. But then that would kind of sully the anonymity aspect, wouldn't it? You'd be matched with your other questions, even though I don't know who you are. But there's a way to build up a profile on you that way, isn't there? So yeah, I don't know who you are. Shift key makes me feel like it's an effort, you know. I don't like this dual wielding of keys. It seems disingenuous to me. At least that way I could tell people that I once ate my neighbour's children. I think it'd be pretty fucked up, but I am tempted. My song of the now is Wolves at the Door by David Bazan. Before I called him Paul Bazan in another video. I'm very sorry, David. Your name is clearly David. David Bazan. Wolves at the Door. I have it lower than I used to have it. It's difficult to tell about like an objective mouse sensitivity scale because there's like the innate sensitivity level on the mouse with the plus and minus buttons, well it's DPI but it works in a similar way, and then there's like Windows sensitivity, the base, and then that's kind of low, and then games as well. You said it, I said it. So I don't know where I would lie on the old objective scale. Because when you go on old people's computers, it's like, it's hard work getting across the screen, and that's like a million miles away from what I am at. But yeah, I used to think it was really good to have high sensitivity in FPS, and I've since realised that's completely wrong. There's much more of a margin of error when you have it on extremely high sensitivity, and you get more. It's easier to learn how far distances are on your hand mat compared with the pixel space world. I'm really tired. Sometimes I do sad faces, and sometimes I do winking faces. Sad faces when I'm sad, winking faces when I'm using it for comic effect of some ilk. In the case of me and my hands, which are bigger than my whole face, yeah, I think it's weird. It depends why you're doing physics. If you're doing physics because you want to have fun in class, then yeah, fuck it. But if you want to do it at uni, then you should carry on doing it. I feel like if you have an interest in physics, not doing it just because there's 3 girls in there, you could bang them all. Remember that. You might regret that. You might regret not doing it just because there's 3 girls, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you'll regret banging them at all. I didn't get the memo on this guy, but whatever. I choose Smiley Joker scar on one side of mouth because that's like nothing. It completely wins. Not really, no, because I always hear bad things about Crossfire and SLI, that a lot of games, a lot of games don't work with it, can't utilise it very well. It only has a frame rate increase of like marginal percentage and doesn't seem worth it. I'd rather just get a more beefed up card. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What blue dye did I use? I used Blue Velvet by Special Effects and also Wildflower by Special Effects. I think I sort of mixed them sometimes, or sometimes Blue Velvet's really dark blue, but if you after you've bleached your hair, it's often not, it's not white, so if you put a really dark blue on it, it's super dark, but then it will stay blue for longer even if you lighten the colour a bit later. No, never. I don't really treat them. Sometimes I squeeze them. That's about it. Apparently I look like a sloth. And in order to imitate a sloth, you do this. Are you ready? Abort mission immediately. Down the stairs. With a coat hanger. No. It amazes me that anyone would think it was possible. Literally the only reason I did it is because I enjoy it. I wasn't thinking of any career or anything. I just thought it was like the epitome of a challenge and something that was very interesting to me as well. I think that's a pretty good reason to do it, actually. But if you have a career-oriented thing as well, it's probably even more of a good choice. I don't think you're really missing out on much, but there's a lot of questions now. I say questions like questions. I know this every time, but it's just an automatic thing. Oh man. No, I should at least finish saying something. I think if you could see them, though, it would be an entirely different website. It would be more of a message board kind of thing. Comments. Shall I stop doing this now because it's going all the way down a very long hill? So this is in response to me talking about, I can't actually remember what I said, but I think it's something about I'm a pseudo-solipsist. So that's just regular solipsism, what you talk about. But pseudo-solipsism is where you realise it's not true, but you tune into that frame of mind anyway, for kicks. I like this because when you talk with these in, your voice is like all-encompassing. Do you know, my ears were blocked completely with wax once, and all I could hear was my own voice, essentially. I talk more about that, but it's kind of gross, so I'll actually answer the question I clicked on. PC isn't all that. I like the just lack of anti-PC inherent in that sentence. Like, someone saying something isn't all that. You're not even saying it's bad. It's the most timid and weak. I don't know, maybe it's an actual sentiment that you feel. But you know what? You're wrong. I use Vegas Video for video editing because it's pretty intuitive. I've never had to, well, not really. Occasionally maybe look something up, how to do something. Usually you can figure it out just from looking through menus and stuff, which I like. Like, I tried Adobe Premiere once and was just like, what the fuck? I don't know, maybe if I tried it now after trying Vegas Video for a while, I'd be able to, but I don't know. It just seemed rather baffling and not immediately obvious what was going on. And I'm not into that. So yeah, Vegas Video. Sony Vegas Video is what I use. It's good. If it works, it's fine. Audio editing, Audacity. I haven't really strayed from Audacity, which is like free. Not that I paid for Vegas Video. Come on. And image editor, Photoshop. But I don't really. Well, can't really think of anything you've possibly seen that I've done on Photoshop. But yeah, I do use it sometimes for photos of things. I don't like inverted, okay? I'm just gonna say that. You know, there's somebody I know who comes to my house, and they might play a game on my computer, and they might change that. They might invert it, and I don't appreciate that ever. Thanks so much for making everything in the world wrong. And I've heard the arguments for it, and even I kind of understand them a bit. Like, I can understand that bringing the mouse down to go for the headshot is kind of feels a bit better than going up in some ways, but I'm not into it at all. And the argument about you move your neck back, so you should know. Just know. It sounds sort of militaristic, like the debris left over from firing a cannon or something. I'm gonna look it up. It depends a lot on context and rationale. Did you do it just because you thought it would be fucked up and like weird? Or did you do it because you were actually sexually aroused? Context is crucial in answering this question. After mentioning the fact I'd bought a ticket for this show and saying it on VU and then getting a message from you saying, so are you going? I purposely didn't answer it because I thought it would be weird as fuck if people showed up just because they knew I was going to be there. So, I don't know, there was a bunch of guys on their own there, and every guy who looked at me or anything, I just assumed they knew I was there and they knew who I was on the internet. Or, like, I thought at least one of them would have done, or did, but nobody seemed to. So, phew, that would be weird. But yeah, it was awesome. I had a really great time. Fun band. And they were saying, like, in America they don't get anything like the same audience as they do in the UK, which is always really weird to hear and funny. Don't live in Elephant and Castle. I think that's one of the worst moves you can make. I mean, in my experience of being in London, Elephant and Castle is particularly no man's landish in my mind, although, you know, the bowling alley is fucking amazing. And otherwise, Hackney Wick is one of the most depressing places in the world, apart from, you know, the location in Stalker. Those are kind of vaguely comparable, except obviously the textures are much better in Stalker. Yeah, I do call them pips. Although not when in grapes. In grapes it's always seeds for some reason, I think because you can buy them seedless. And that's embedded in my mind. Seeds. Grapes. Seeds. You know what, when you're away, they don't say seeded, no. Whenever I'm away, I always end up buying grapes and forgetting every time that they're full of shit. In Europe, they think it's weird that we can actually buy grapes here. I mean, someone watching this video is probably from somewhere in Europe and just thinking I'm an absolute, I don't know anything, because where they're from, they can get seedless grapes because they're not peasants. But okay, in peasant lands, and if you're in a peasant land without seedless grapes, then yeah, you're a peasant. I'm not gonna backtrack on that one. I always forget, and then they're full of shit, and it's saddening. I remember sitting on a step in Spain. Where was it? I remember exactly what the street looked like. I think it was Seville. And I sat on a step to eat my grapes and carefully, got out all the fucking seeds and was placing them carefully on the step. And then a guy came out of the door who lived there. And he was not happy with my existence or the existence of those seeds. I was gonna take them on my way, my merry way, but he couldn't foresee that. Anyway, he shouted a lot, but I couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying, so I was safe. So yeah, pips, when they're in fruit most of the time, but seeds when they are or are not in grapes. Pip pip. Yeah, I am super tired. My tiredness seems to sort of carry over days, like, it just does. That's what it does. It's what I like to do. So yesterday I moved out of London town and didn't get enough sleep. I got like 4 hours sleep. And actually yesterday I felt alright, but today forget it. Forget about it immediately. So yeah, I'm sleepy as fuck. But the night is young. So maybe I'll have some cup of tea and some cake and some wakey, play some games, because at the moment I'm like, don't even have the strength to double click on a game on Steam, which is a sad state of affairs. Please no. Diddy. Hello. He's a dog. Come and say hello. He's a dog. See, come on. You can see us, right? Hello, dog. Dogs. You're a dog. You're a fucking dog. It's amazing. We're astounded. Jay. Dog. Come here. That's some severe disinterest going on there. Anyway. Just come and say hi and we can shake hands. We can shake hands instead, because that's far more civilized. I don't think they're comparable in the slightest. It's my dog that I've had for 12 years. 12 years. Or a stranger at a game expo who wants to hug me for no other reason than they've seen me on the internet. That's weird. And although maybe there is a slight peppering of autism on the meal that is me, I don't think that's making itself apparent in my response to that. I turned the light on for this response and everything. This is my bow, and I'm going to show you how to string it. Save this up through it here, like that. And then this bit goes over your leg. And then you pull this bit down. And there's a bow for you to pull. I haven't really done much archery since I was at Sussex, because they had a archery club there, and then when I moved unis they didn't have an archery club the first year. They do now, but they always meet at really stupid times when I'm busy. So I only ever really shoot my bow when I'm back here in the countryside and can go into fields and stuff. Like last summer I went into a field and just shot all my arrows as high and far as they would go, and it was super awesome. I really liked being in the archery club though, because the archery guy there always talks about how amazing my form was and it made me feel awesome. But I always feel like I should really try hard to get back into it, but I'm always really busy during school, and I don't Plus, my arrows have mysteriously disappeared. I feel like I might have left them in the previous flat, but I feel like they would have phoned me and said, "Yeah, Rose, you left your arrows," because we have, like, no use for them. It's weird. But I very much like my bow. You can get bows that are more expensive with sights and things, but I prefer bare bow. And I really like Korean bows too. So, that's my bow story. Has this happened? Is this you? I'd like to know if it is, not because I'm gonna beat you down or anything. Like, I wouldn't feel betrayed. I'd feel weird and it would be quite funny. But I wouldn't feel like, you know, I could understand it, because I might do the same in a similar position. So yeah, if this is true, let me know. If it's a hypothetical, also let me know. Because I quite like to keep on top of that shit, knowing who knows what. Although I did find out yesterday that my mum has watched my videos, which is extremely fucking weird. It's like Barbie, but with a weird... oh my god. I'm not into it, I gotta say. Like, it's impressive that there's the waist and shit going on, and totally looks like a chick. A very Barbie chick, but yeah, weird face and everything. It just looks like, okay, this chick's had a lot of plastic surgery, but it's just flapping around. Shiny worm. And, it's completely repulsive to me, but I know a lot of people like that shit. So, I don't really know what more to say about that. It's amazing that I was able to give somebody some sort of advice. I didn't even feel like it was very coherent, but that you've gone away and you've done what I said and it doesn't look shit. That's awesome. Looks good. Thanks for the link. I'm fulfilled. It was never a goal of mine, but I feel completely fulfilled in every one of my chakras. Just ate some cake, and that was a good time. Thank you for the link. Why would you say that? Why would you ever say that? Doesn't it hurt your soul? Because it certainly hurts mine. I've been gifted 2 games ever. One was Shatter when it was on sale, and one was The Secret of Monkey Island Special Edition. I don't want to be gifted games from random people on the internet. And that's not something that has ever or will ever appeal to me. I have bought all my own games over a period of 7 years and built up a delicious collection. And yeah, I'm really not one of those people, and nor will I ever be. I don't pirate PC games because I want more PC games to be made. And the people who make those games deserve my money. This isn't true at all. I don't know if you're lying or genuinely mistaken. I just hope that other people have been stalking me to a slightly higher caliber than you've managed to, and can verify at least to themselves that this isn't true. The problem is that I already own like all of the games that I would want to own. I don't know, maybe the crayon thing. I'll have a look at that. But it just seems I don't want to then like throw off the average income because I'm just paying for one game because I already own them all. So it's like, yeah, maybe I'll just wait for a sale if it looks good. Yeah, I kind of want to. I just saw that Osmos got added today or yesterday, and that was fucking awesome. I love Osmos. Osmos. So anybody watching this, check out Humble Indie Bundle 3. I want to make a video for Osmos anyway, so I might try and do that before it runs out. Okay, so the next time you're playing a game with them, just open up the message window and type CYBER ? And see where it goes from there. There's such an incalculable amount of Minecraft videos on YouTube. I don't think that there needs to be any more. And Terraria. It's like oversaturation on both those fronts, plus I'm not really interested. So I'm sorry to everyone asking for this. I don't know why you're asking for it, because it's fucking everywhere. I don't really know how to feel about school at the moment. Like, it gets to this point and I sort of look forward to it, because I don't remember how much it sucks out of me when it's happening. So yeah, I have like the non-jaded perspective at the moment because I'm not there. And I'm trying at the moment to decide whether to do a 3-year or 4-year course. So next year could be my last year if I go 3-year. And I just want something to push me in one direction or the other. I don't know what to do, and now it's like, oh, the economy's complete fuck again. So maybe I'll just stick it out for the 4 years and hope it's better when I come out. I don't know what to do. I need to decide really soon. The thing is, I don't know how it happened. Like, at the time I was living in a house that was really moist. Like, there's a video of me talking about how the windows drip and I have to put towels down to suck up condensation. The room was just insanely damp and got mold everywhere. It was kind of fucking gross. But yeah, I don't know if that's why, because it hasn't happened since and it never happened before, but I got completely blocked ears. I couldn't hear anything, apart from my own voice quite loudly. So my own voice, you know when you wear these, like, pluggy plug ears, and you can just hear your own voice really loud, and basically nothing else. That's what it was like. So I'd be talking, hello, how are you? People would be like, what? And I just feel like I was shouting, but I wasn't. So then I went and got my ears syringed, and it's not a syringe, it's a fucking watery pneumatic drill on your eardrum, and you have to hold a cup like this, and it all comes out, and it's fucking delicious. You look at it floating, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm so glad that was inside of my ear. My ear made that for some reason. You have a delicious a draft of it, and you get sent on your merry way. And everything was so loud afterwards. A car went by, and I went, because it was so overbearing. I couldn't imagine anything being that loud in the world, and it was. It was actually pretty awesome. I enjoyed the whole thing immensely. You don't sound crazy at all. You seem like a really, really nice guy. I was extremely annoyed that I missed that. Buh. I'm not in London anymore, so no one can steal me from a JGB Sports, hit me with a baseball bat, or set me on fire. It's a bit shit. It's been delayed by 2 weeks, but apparently the open beta has not been delayed, so all is not lost. Hooray. I've been accused of it, but I can see 3D. Thank fuck for that. I like the fact that you've gone for the name Higher Caliber Stalker. It's pretty good. I like the fact that you've gone for the name Higher Caliber Stalker. It's pretty good. I don't think that a low IQ union will necessarily lead to, in a nature sense, a low IQ offspring. But the nurture side of things, I think, has a grave effect on the resultant humanoid. And that's an issue that I don't know how to face, because the thing is, when you start talking about things like this, you end up sounding like a massive Nazi. So, you know, maybe I shouldn't talk about maybe the fact that maybe the world is pretty fucking overpopulated and maybe certain people shouldn't be allowed to have kids, because that sort of thing is rather hard to decide upon and then regulate fairly. So no, it's not necessarily wrong, but I think kids being brought up in environments that are bad because of bad parenting, which is often an offshoot of some form of stupidity, is wrong. My handwriting depends entirely on the kind of pen I am using at the time. So these pens, and pens of their ilk, with the... can't see that really, can you? But maybe you can understand what it is, even though you can't really see it. So yeah, the sort of fine liners, they make me write well. My handwriting is legible and even kind of nice with them. But as soon as you give me a pen in which I can write speedily, it goes to shit very, very quickly. So I guess I'm somewhere in the middle of those two possibilities, depending on which pen I'm currently holding. The game that I've been playing on Steam that won't tell you what it is a very good game. I use the TI-83 Plus. This is very interesting, I'm sure, to everybody watching this currently. and I use the FX85ES, I think it is, when I'm taking exams. Because although last year I used my TI-83 Plus in exams, but then in one exam, because you have to write in the front of the exam paper what calculator you were using, and I wasn't quite clear on whether I was allowed it or not, but it was like, okay, everything seems fine. And then in the middle of one, somebody came up to me and said, no, you're not supposed to use that, you're not supposed to have it. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I thought, I was really scared for quite a while that my exam results are going to come back and they're going to say, like, disqualified because you were using a beefy calculator. But that didn't happen. But this year I didn't use it just because I was fucking afraid that might happen and it would be the shittest thing ever. But you know, that kid with the A4 crib sheet paper, come on, calm the fuck on. I can't even get over it. Anyway, to answer your question, Texas Instruments TI-83 Plus. I had an aftermarket cooler for my previous build, which I was hoping to transfer over, but it's a dick. Like, when I first installed it on my old motherboard, it was incredibly difficult to get it on. It was like, forceful. Hella forceful, bad times. Pushing hard, feeling like I was going to break it, but I was like, I'm doing something wrong. It's nothing to do with this stupid piece of shit. It's me. I just don't know how to do it right. But no, it was a stupid piece of shit, as I came to realise when I was trying to put it on my new motherboard, and it wasn't going. Because it warped the fuck out of my motherboard when I first put it on. But I was like, I guess it's fine. And it did seem fine. Like, my temperatures were fine on my old PC. But yeah, in my video I even specified that I was going to get another heatsink, but fine. Yeah, I'm going to get the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Plus, but I haven't done it yet because it looks like a bit of a hassle. It's like, oh jeez. And also, the longer I wait, the more, when I do get it, it feels like a legitimate upgrade because I can then overclock my CPU, and it feels like magic all over again. So I will probably do that within the next month. Yep. I did try out, and thanks very much, viewer, because you can now go to ve3d.ign.com and see a preview for Hard Reset that I wrote for the site. Awesome. No, I actually left London about a week or 2 weeks before the riot started. I had nothing to do with it, but yeah, I leave London every summer because I can't really afford to pay rent for the whole of summer when there's no real good reason to. Especially as when you're in London, you just bleed money constantly. So it does mean, again, I have to go back in September to find somewhere new to live and to go through the irritating process of, like, screening people and trying to find someone on Gumtree who seems to be saying that basically no one's going to talk to you and they're going to leave you alone. Because that appeals to me big time. So wish me luck. I think it's Primer. Sorry, Primer. P-R-I-M-E-R. I realise that the way I talk can greatly confuse some people. It's a very good film about time travel. I'm sure I've talked about it before on here, because I've talked about it before everywhere else in the world, so I don't see why this place would be any different. Good film. Well, I mean, she's blonde, and I'm blonde. We both have the same colour hair, is what I'm saying, so there's that. I don't play League of Legends, but I just looked her up, and I can see that we definitely have the same colour hair. I like that you asked this after seeing me answer about World of Warcraft. Yeah. Anything can change the nature of a man. I think suffering works to make people more interesting, and anything else has negative or positive effects, depending. Is it important? Is that important? Which banal biscuit do you prefer? I don't know. I'm so ambivalent to both of these biscuits that I find it difficult to put one
anywhere, let alone ranking them. Well, I mean, they're fundamentally different biscuits, aren't they? Because digestives are savoury, or they pretend to be and are successful enough, whereas custard creams, in the opposite direction, they pretend to be but aren't really a sweet biscuit. If right this instant I had the option of a digestive or a custard cream, I think I would choose the digestive. But that was a hard thing to call right then. I've acquired unlimited monetary funds with which to pursue whatever personal endeavours I so desire. For 1 week? Good grief! How did that happen? Well, I guess I'll be off to spend a shitload of money and pursue the endeavours that I so desire. Pleasure talking. Views being try to work together for the last moments. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll do it again. I'll do it again sometime. Don't know when, but I'm sure it's gonna happen. It's just a waiting game. Let's wait for the game. No, the game is the waiting. We're in the game now. This is the game. I prefer Lord of the Rings. He's the Ring Lord. The Eye of Sauron, it's watching you now. Don't ever say your favourite movie is The Matrix. The Matrix is a good film, however. If you just watch the first one in isolation with blinkers, avoiding any and all eye contact with the other two shitfests, and also putting out of your mind the fact that Will Smith was the first pick for Neo, which I just can't imagine on any level. Well, The Dark Knight Rises was shit. Terribly disappointing shit, because I really enjoyed The Dark Knight in a cinema in Slovenia? Yeah. Ljubljana. Although I don't know if it was Ljubljana, because I took a bus fucking miles out. It can't have been that far, actually, because I walked back. God, what are you doing? This webcam, what do you do? What do you want me to do with this window? You want me to... Okay, fine, let's zoom in. And move. Yeah, you like that? I think everyone likes to see that light. Let's just leave it on that for a minute, eh? I'm still using the Logitech illuminated keyboard, which I really like. I'm tempted by mechanical keyboards, but I just they're kind of squat and they're tall, and I like scissor switch because it's, I don't know, something nice about it, something that pleases me beyond what mechanical keyboards do. So ideally I'd have both, but I don't have both yet. Yeah, I do feel partially / completely responsible, because on multiple occasions people who work at VU have emailed me and said, why didn't you come back? You should come back. Come back. And I've intended to. Every time I said, yeah, sure, I'll be back soon. See you then. And I haven't done it, and look what's happened in my absence. It's done fucked. The ship's sinking. Ship's fucking going, man. Ain't nothing I can do about it. I am immensely buoyant, so if I'd been here at the right time, I could have just laid underneath the ship and would have been fine, you know? Alas, the truth of the matter is I can't swim, and VU's going down. I age and VU dies on precisely the same day, so maybe that means in some way or another it will be born anew into me and be usable as a platform on the internet. I sure hope so, because I enjoy this thing. I think it's great. I don't understand why it failed. I guess it failed. I guess they couldn't find a way to adequately monetize it. I know that it's going to carry on as a commercial product, but goddamn, Steve Spurger, at least make another website that's exactly the same as this one that I can use. For God's sake. And that's all I have to say on that. This is not a comfortable fit. Trust me, you weren't expecting this, were you? Yeah. This happened, and I can only express my shame and my shitness. Oh, I seen 3 men hanging from a sycamore. Their bodies are still feathered 2 by 4, and their heads were tilted down towards the ground. And it ain't been long since they've been up there, that their bodies seem cold hanging in that air. And they might have froze before the news got to them. Get on with it. Put off the fuss, you chicken shit. Get on with it. Can't you see it's time to quit? Oh, it's Roger thought that's a dirty hand. He had the look of a saint, but the greed of a man in his face was worn and wrinkled like a leather book. And if I put this revolver to my head, will God turn against me instead of taking pity on a broken man? I think I'm probably out of time. Oh, you're still here? Well, shit, maybe I could have got through some of the chorus, but, not today. More game tips are coming. More game tips will come. One day. One fine day, maybe it'll be the day that YouTube decides it's shutting down. No, it will be soon. I will inundate. Let's face it, I'm never going to inundate. Maybe one day I'll inundate. But there will be more games tips like Osmos, please. If I say it, it will be true. The fact that anybody would be talking to their wife Janet about me overwhelms any reaction I might have otherwise had. Oh, Janet, is she dreamy? Is she a dreamboat? Wife Janet. I think you should take up CS again. CSGO is very fun and has a few really cool game modes that are kind of just riffing on old game modes, but nonetheless riffing well. But TF2 is kind of, nah, don't do that. The thing with Raoul's honey is that there's so many variations, and I'm not sure why do you need so many variations of honey? It's honey, for God's sake. So I bought a honey because I didn't know what to do when I was confronted by all the honeys, and you know, it was rubbish. It was no good, but I feel like my my honey connoisseurship is maybe higher than others because I've always had a diet of whenever I've had honey, it's been good quality honey is what I'm saying. That I haven't bought, but now you know, for a while now I've been living out on the streets, buying my own Raoul's honey and being constantly disappointed by its mediocrity. It's a tough life. No, they're gone forever, or at least until Joe, I don't know, maybe when they're old they'll do stuff again, but Joe is big in Hollywood now. Adam tries, oh god. Just had the idea that Adam might one day watch this video. Adam, I fucking love you, man, but you need to... No, you don't need to do anything, you just need to do what you enjoy. Please do what you enjoy. I like to see you enjoy yourself. I hope you enjoy yourself. I want to see you do what you want to do. How many times can I say this in a row? Adam, I'm not religious, but I'll pray for you. The audiobook thing still is massively appealing to me, but I don't know where I'd put such a thing, like where that would be relevant on the internet. What I like about videos, I can put basically anything here. Not an audiobook, because there's a 2-minute limit, but maybe I need some kind of old style, like Grandpa used to have, home page, like a proper old-fashioned home page, and just a bunch of stuff. maybe I'll do that, and that will have just like a page in a frame with audiobooks in a list or something. I don't know. I've read Steppenwolf. I haven't read The Trial, so maybe I'll do The Trial. I don't know. Maybe. One day it's bound to happen, right? A great deal of popcorns have been eaten. I love popcorn. It's delightful. It's like magic. Has everybody seen that gif where popcorn pops? I hope so. If not, search for it now and then eat some. I like to eat the whole bag while I sit weeping in my bedroom. My latex skills are top drawer. In a variety of I generally use front ends for latex, so I guess they're not that top drawer. But yeah, man, latex. I'm hard science. Hard science is who I am. Well, I've read pretty much all Vonnegut. I haven't read any Heinlein. Robert Heinlein. I know he wrote Starship Troopers, and that's intriguing, although I don't know if it has the same bent on it as the film. Because if not, I don't know. What's interesting about what is interesting about Starship Troopers in book form? Please tell me. And recommend me a book I should read by Mr. R. Heinlein. Thank you. Kinda no, kinda maybe, not really, no, maybe. The thing that I don't like about stream stuff is that people feel the need to talk a lot. And somebody actually asked me what I think about let's plays, and it's the same thing. People feel the need to fill dead air. And I can understand that, because I've made some let's plays. And any let's plays I want to make in the future, I don't want to care or be scared of the dead air. The dead air's fine. It's okay. But I think there's, especially live streaming where there is no editing, I don't know. I see people live streaming and it's like, who are you, man? You're fucking boring. But if they were trying to be pepped the whole way, then I don't think I'd find that very enjoyable either. So I think it's a tricky one. Doesn't really appeal to me very much, but haven't completely wiped out of the optional avenues. I considered it briefly, but unfortunately I'm incredibly intolerant and easily annoyed, and being in a situation where I was trying to explain something to someone, and I had a really bad teacher in primary school, and if you didn't understand anything she'd just shout. I remember trying to teach everybody long division, and her method was just writing it on the board and then just saying, "What don't you understand?" while stabbing the board with a piece of chalk. And at the time I was like, what's wrong with this woman? But in reality I think that would be my method, so I don't think I'm suited to it in the least. I picked up a telescope at a village fair once, and it was £10, and it was £10 for a reason. It didn't really do jack shit and was incredibly blurry and disappointing, although I had some fun with it for half an hour. I'd like a telescope, but London is not the place to have a telescope, sadly. Oh Jesus. It just froze framed on the most amazing face that caused me to almost choke on my own spittle. I don't have a music playlist, or at least not one online. That could be on the Shitty homepage though. Where do Shitty homepages go now? I feel like what I really need is like a Shitty homepage which is just like a prefix onto like something, like not a domain name, but something that has like my name, shitty prefix, my shitty prefix, domain name, dot whatever, .com.au, whatever I can get that's shitty and free for my shitty homepage. This kind of went off on a answer no, maybe someday, maybe. raising the scientific roof there. I might do some science videos, I don't know. The idea is appealing, but ambitious. So we'll see where those two things align, and I'll consider your request. I don't know which bird you're referring to, but still there. Get a bit of the old. Why not, Why not? I'm currently reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. She wrote this book when she was 19. What a bitch. I got it from a bookshop on Charing Cross Road, and when I bought it, the guy said, "Oh, customer, we don't get many of them." It's basically the only shop on Charing Cross Road where you can pick up a book for £2, and I overheard them talking about how they're probably going to be shutting at the end of the month. That was about a month ago, so they might be gone by now. Death of the High Street. I actually bought this webcam from a real shop, and it was the same price as they are on the internet. What the fuck? It was the biggest novelty of my week. Amazing. Well, I spent 6 months making OLEDs, so I guess that's it. Like I guess so. To make an OLED, what you have to do is you get a substrate, well, preferably multiple substrates that are roughly the size of this, and you clean them for 2 hours. You clean them for 2 hours. For 2 hours they are cleaned, and then you make them in that machine that's in the background of the video I made. 2 hours cleaning, man! That goes against everything I've ever believed in.
I had a few questions like this. What the fuck is this? What is this shit doing? Good questions, pat head. This website's fucking stupidly done. Stupidly laid out. Stupidly conceptualized. It should just be ask a question and it will be answered in a video. Excessive hand gestures. Instead of that, it's like, hey, type something here. Something will happen. No, it won't happen. Because I probably haven't recorded a relevant answer, but of course now I have. I see the magic of it, but no one's going to ever answer enough questions that it becomes workable. It's just going to be potluck, Jiminy Jam, should just be from Formspring with video. Yep. World of Warcraft is ... depressing. Spend your game time on something, you know, slightly different. Maybe not quite such a massive waste of endless time. Play a fun game. Do it. I advise. Possibly, it's a possibility that at some point I've done that, but I don't feel that that's something that would ever be worthy of a memory. I'm sorry to Teesside, but I think that's just the way it is and the way it's always going to be. CS Office I have difficulty with, in that I never learn from my mistakes. I always go left, and it depends. Okay, so when you go left, you have 2 options. You have through the window, smashly smash, nice sounds, or down the stairs. Down the stairs is a bit of a, because there's that little window that they can see through and they can get you on. But then if you go by the door, basically you're at a disadvantage that end, no matter what. I mean, anyway, sometimes I get lucky and sometimes I don't get lucky, and when I'm not getting lucky, I don't generally think, hey, yeah, I'll go the other way, that seems like a good move right now. I just keep doing it. So, if you ever saw anybody do that at, on the University of Teesside server, then maybe it was me. Couldn't tell you. I see this kind of thing quite a lot on View. I don't know why it is. I think maybe it's to make some people look a bit stupid. So, it's kind of like trying to read an Italian menu for me. I'm gonna do it. Because, you know, I'm Wacky Rose. That's the kind of shit I do. If it's whack, don't hold me back. Sky Friggle Macacacacacacatula Boolero. I already know I did things wrong. I probably didn't say caca enough, and I ended it on a caca instead of cacac, and I noticed that as it was happening, and I can only apologise for those oversights. I have the dinosaur, somewhere maybe, that you have seen, and I have some things. I have a great pig mask that's rubber, and a great pig in general, in mask-esque-ness, and I like it. And for Halloween, it wasn't Halloween in fact, it was something dressed as an animal thing, and I bought it, and I very nearly bought, to go with, to enmesh with the pig head mask rubber-esque-ness, a spacesuit, so that I could be a space pig. But I couldn't quite validate the purchase of the space costume because it was about £10 and I'd already spent about that on this mask that is fucking great. But I can't actually wear it for long periods of time because I already feel, because I have quite a small voice, I'm going to probably go on for too long on this, I have quite a small voice and people generally don't hear me in situations like parties, and I feel quite far removed as a result, and I have to sort of uncomfortably talk loudly, and I don't particularly like it. Add into this scenario a pig rubberized-esqueness between you and everyone, and it just creates a much more isolationist approach to the world that I don't particularly thrive on. So I generally haven't kept it on for very long. Apparently this is now in the too long category of response, so I'm gonna end it. I actually have some kind of choice about how long the torture stretches into the temporal horizon, and I'm not entirely sure which way I'm going to take it. Is it going to be 1.5 years extra, 1.5, or is it going to be 2.5 years extra of torturous hell, pain, fire? I don't know. I'm going to see how I feel at the end of this year, and then reassess the situation. I think with this question you were implying that I was furiously jacking off with the other hand. Unfortunately this isn't the case. I was actually orchestrating a small musical. Oh, Wacky Rose! Back in full effect for another area of the internet. Whee! Guided tour of what? Of this knife. This knife has honey on it. You might be able to see, yep, you can indeed see the honey. It's sort of, secured in place by these 3 silver things that hold it in place. It has a burn mark along it. That's irresponsible. I don't know who did that. It wasn't me. I only just moved in. You can't shoulder that blame onto me. Generally speaking, it's okay. It doesn't really work for cutting many things. I tried to cut pizza with it. It's a bit shit for that. Honey, it's not that great for spreading honey because it's really thin. Needs a wash, obviously, and I think that's all I really have to say about this knife. Next time, be more specific / less boring. I don't watch Doctor Who. Come on, a space pig is not restricted to a TV show in which a doctor is who. No, space pig stands alone and true as a possibility. Fucking Doctor Who. Okay, let's break this down. Why? What is it you get out of that? If you get something out of that, think about it in your brain, in your mind, ruminate on that fact, and just reconsider your options, and maybe just don't ask that question again. It has been said on more than one occasion that my eyes are too far apart and my face is squished into a very small localization, like a sloth. Whether or not this is true, let's not even think about it. Other factors, my massive hands with stupid long fingers, I'm a freak. Head and hands, little bit of a problem going on. Other things, I'm a bit small. Take from that what you will. I'm small, like a midget. A tall midget. A tall midget. That's probably the title I should use from now on. Things are wrong. Things are going on that are untoward. But let's move on and leave that behind. This sounds like a dick thing to say, but I'm not really scared of anything. Mostly it's because I think I consider myself an immortal, and as such nothing can touch me. I'm generally aware of certain possibilities and don't like the outcome that they would give rise to, but I'm not scared of them. I just am aware of them sometimes and have to, walk fast and avoid eye contact on occasion in order to avoid them. But scared, no, because I will never die. I actually play as a soldier, generally speaking, in TF2. So I am, in fact, the deliverer, generally, of a motherfucking crit rocket. I don't feel great about the crit system. I don't particularly like it. When I kill someone, it feels great. I use the direct hit, so it's kind of like insta-gib when you do it right, and that's pretty grand. But when I realise it's because of a crit that the person's died, I don't feel particularly satisfied any longer. I think it's a system that's been introduced. Well, it's a system that's been introduced for noobs to level the playing field, and I'm never a proponent of that sort of behaviour. So I agree. Motherfucking crit rockets. I'm sorry if I was ever the one to deliver them unto you. My number one recommendation for people who want to learn about anything remotely academic but don't know much about it is to download Teaching Company lectures. The Teaching Company is a company who teach on video. Fortunately for us, that video is then distributed throughout the world of torrents. So you can stop with the hands. You can get hold of Teaching Company lectures on any number of things. Alex Filipenko does some really good astrophysics-y ones that I would recommend, and just generally books, popular science even on the subject. And get your fingers. No, stop hands. Just get your head into it and enjoy it. I don't like it. I've got used to it. When I first heard my voice, the first times I heard my voice, it's horrible and dreadful and disgusting, but it's just because you don't know your voice. You only hear your voice inside your head, and your voice sounds entirely different and generally cooler inside of your own head than when you hear it played back to you. And that doesn't mean it's a bad voice, it just means you're not used to it and it's weird. So, you get used to it, and then it's okay. Kinda. The non-specificity of this question hurts me, pains me somewhat. Do you mean in terms of objects, or concepts, or I don't know, I'm going to go with objects because that's easier for me to answer. I value my computer the most. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that is, objectively the wrong thing to value the most, but for me, when I think about losing things, losing my computer, not just the computer that I paid for, but just the idea of my own PC, that has more value to me than anything else, I think. Take from that what you feel like taking from it. And you know that scene in Garden State? I don't know if you've seen Garden State. It's a scene where Natalie Portman, the kooky chick, does a little dance and makes a stupid fucking noise, because that's something nobody has ever done before, and she feels really unique. That's the kind of thing I don't ever want to be, and that's the kind of reason I'm not gonna do a little dance. It depends what kind of fame. If it's the kind of fame where people are gonna come up to me in the street and talk to me and be like, I recognize you, probably be a bit awkward.
when I mentioned this in a YouTube video, but it actually happened to me when I was in Spain. Somebody came up to me because they recognized me from the internet. And that was super weird. And if it happened on a regular basis, I walk around London sometimes and just think, shit, somebody could recognize me and then they could come and talk to me. It's probably unlikely, but I was in Spain in a hostel full of Spanish people, and an English guy happened to be there and happened to recognize me. So it's a bit unsettling to think about the possibility, and I don't think I'd like it. So depends what kind of fame. If it's that kind of fame, probably not too well. I'd like to be some kind of consultant on a video game. I'd like every video game, or a lot, or the ones that appeal to me directly, to come up to me and ask me, would you like this, or how would you like this to be done? So that I could then tell them the way in which I would like it to be done, and it would then be done in that way. But beyond that, I don't, I'm not into, well, I haven't studied how to code anything, really, and it would be a shitload of work, and I probably won't ever do that. There's a game called Sleep is Death where you make your own, you sort of have a template and it's quite ghetto, but you make your own little story that someone then runs through and you respond to in real time. Just looked at you like you've never heard of it, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Not making any judgments. But I was going to do that, but even that, I don't know, it's really time consuming, and I guess I just don't have the drive to do it. Don't know what that was. No, I don't really like rusty spoons, nor do I see any appeal in said rusty spoons. I generally enjoy it if my cutlery is smooth and clean and doesn't have any sort of texture upon eating other than that said smooth, clean cutlery-ness. I don't think you really like rusty spoons either. I actually just got back from being in the library with my university friends. I really like my university friends. They're a really cool, weird bunch of people, and it's endlessly humorous, revelationary, of funny times kind of deal set up. Having said that, I did have the opportunity to live with some of them. I chose not to because I don't like it if I live in a house and I feel any compulsion to talk to the other people. I don't like being in the kitchen and them being there and feeling like I owe them some of my time. I like being able to go to my room and be in my room and not be disturbed. I like to not be knock, knock, knock. Hey Rose. No, I don't want that to happen to me. I just want to have my own sphere that is uninterrupted by outside sources. And I don't want to feel obligation in that sphere. I don't want to feel anything other than I'm in my room and it is my room. So that's the reason why I choose to live in these strange situations, just so I avoid that obligation. Do I seem uncheerful? Am I lacking in cheer? I don't think so. I think I'm at a sort of neutral setting. Things are alright at the moment as they stand. I feel okay, kinda. Very little in the way of due dates at my current moment in time in terms of homeworks. So I feel almost good. Quite tired at the moment, generally quite tired when I'm doing this. But I'm glad that I come across as doleful to you, human. I think, generally speaking, I do not appear lacking in cheer. I am just perhaps not as enthusiastic as some people would expect for whatever reason. You, sir, are who I am referring to. The only time I ever woke up from a dream crying, I don't remember what the dream was. I just remember waking up and being like, what the fuck is happening? I'm not a person who often cries. Check the guns.
So it was weird, and I don't know what that dream was. It must have been truly terrible. Maybe my dog died. Invader Zim's okay. It's alright. It's a TV show that's kind of funny sometimes. There's no real adoration going on in Invader Zim's direction. Can't talk. Good time to approach this website / be alive. I got up and here I am. Do-do-do-do! Is that what that was? Okay. I haven't seen that video in about 3 years. It's the kind of thing that people who just found the internet, or at least gone away from Facebook briefly, find and then link you to, along with like a lolcat. But anyway, thanks for letting me know about that. What's with all the weird cartoon-liking accusations I'm getting too? In as many days. Actually, both today. Futurama's okay. I watch it. I much prefer the most recent series to the rest of it. I think it's better now. But it's alright. I think it kind of tries to appeal to nerddom in a way that's above its station. Not to sound like a dick or nothing, too late. But, it's alright. It's a link to a video of 2 fat girls dancing to a shit song. What? I don't get it. Is it supposed to be funny? It's neither funny nor pleasing. Good job. I bought a video card. I upgraded from my old GeForce A800 GT to an HD 4890 ATI card. If I were to upgrade now, I would get an 460 or mayhaps a 6X50, with X being a number that I have forgotten, because you can unlock, it's an ATI card that you can unlock to go up to the 6X70. Bam! For free. The hands are here to stay. I think it's time for me to stop denying them. I'm holding them down here, but they cannot be contained. That's my story. I hope you liked it. Yeah, Nay1 is a fucking dick. Let's get this straight. Every grade I get, he gets a better grade. Every high score I get, he obliterates. I'm sick as shit of Nay1, and I hope he dies. What do atheists smell like? I'm actually genuinely interested in your response to this, and as this website enables conversations, and you're pretty much obliged to tell me. How militant am I? Militant in what sense? Do I go around beating up religious people? No. Do I get into arguments with them? Yes. Does it feel like a waste of time? Yes. I don't give much weight to well, let's have respect for everyone, and you know, it's their faith and you shouldn't mess with that. I don't think that's correct. So I will attempt to encourage everybody with an irrational faith to question said irrational faith if possible. But you are then aligning yourself with a bunch of people who are really annoying. I don't love Richard Dawkins. In fact, I think he's annoying. It's a tough road. It's a tough and rocky road. It's not really. It's a neutral road that tries to encourage neutrality and rationalism. Stop talking. Alright. I think I said everything I wanted to say. If I even had anything I wanted to say. I said it, regardless. I don't believe in luck. I don't think there is such a thing. You call it luck when a series of unlikely events happen in a consecutive order. Then you consider yourself lucky. But luck as a thing has no innate value or meaning. Having said that, yes, I do consider myself lucky, and I think it gives me a better life to think of that. There is no in general when it comes to the internet. The internet is everything. It includes every aspect and every niche and every facet. It can't be generalized to a localized region of this is something. It is everything. Everything bad, everything fucking terrible, and everything great. Cannot be generalized, or general, or general. This question makes me very happy. Good question. Okay, I've only played Bishi Bashi with other people, and maybe that human element shouldn't be there in order to truly fucking hammer in that hellfire. When you're with other people, it's like, haha, I suck, but I guess. Oh, I'm angry, but I guess it's fun. But take that away, and you just have hitting your head against the fucking arcade machine. I've only played it in an arcade. I can't imagine playing anywhere else. You need the massive fucking balls of pain. The thing that I'm terrible at is the ones. Can't fucking do it. Feel like it's like the time that the time that I felt the most fucking retarded is trying to play that stupid game like a cripple. Like, I can't do it. So, I think alone is probably the best to truly feel that pain. I should probably try that sometime in an arcade. Perhaps with people watching me play it on my own to potentize the whole event. What you're describing is me on the internet. That's what I do because it's fun to me. It's the most fulfilling. But that isn't to say that it's not genuine. This is me. I am this. But it's sort of like, as you say, wrapped, veneered. But there's definitely me here. Hi. What upsets me? I don't know. Outside right now I can hear the people who hang out outside, and I have to walk by them to get to the fucking door, to open said fucking door, to get to my bedroom, away from the street. I don't like that they're hanging out there. That upsets me, because it seems like it's going to become a regular event, which will probably ultimately result in my rape on the stairwell. Somebody made a video recently wherein I said rape a lot. So really, I'll have brought it on myself, and that will probably be mentioned in the court of law. Upsetting. I wouldn't worry about it, because I just looked out the window that isn't outside. The people that I heard were actually living down there. I can see them through a window, and I could see a guy fucking someone, and then I could also hear an audience, and that is the sounds that were going on. That I thought was just an unruly street gang. It was an orgy. An unruly orgy. So, let's not worry about that, but in all honesty, what can you do? You gotta be flippant about everything. It's the first line of defense, flippancy. Depressingly, I haven't really read that many books since I made that video. When I'm at university, my brain is essentially ripped clean away from me and held ransom, and the only thing I'm allowed to put inside it generally is relating to a homework paper or an exam that's approaching rapidly and dreadfully on the horizon. So, but a book I have read over that period of time and actually finished, Jesus, is The Adventures of Kavalier and Clay, which is a pretty awesome book that I'd recommend. Another one that I'd read before but didn't actually mention in the video is A Secret History by Donna Tartt, which I would also recommend. Kavalier and Clay is about some kids during the Second World War who make a comic about Hitler getting beaten up a lot. Very good book. Sounds good, because it is. And Secret History is about a bunch of college kids. Yeah, enjoy that. I've just ordered Infinite Jest, which is apparently an excellent book that maybe you can read at the same time, and you can tell me what you think of it, whoever the fuck you are. And I can be vaguely interested because it's relevant to me, perhaps, unless you're slightly ahead of me and giving me spoilers. I don't like spoilers. I hate spoilers. I dislike people. Anyway, that's sort of a side issue, but it's just suddenly sprung into my mind as a big deal. I started reading Count of Monte Cristo this summer, and that's really good, but I never finished it, got distracted. Somewhere around here. Moby Dick, the same thing happened last year to that. Both really good books, neither of them have been finished. It's sad. Sorry. Useless. I haven't played a great amount of beat-em-ups over the length of my game life. When I was a kid, we had Mortal Kombat 2 for Mega Drive, which I played and liked and was quite good at, but then after that it was pretty sparsely populated. We had Tekken for PlayStation 1, and Tekken, I don't remember which numerical denotation of Tekken it was, but that I played a bit, kind of enjoyed, was pretty button mashy. But after that it was pretty much an arid wasteland in terms of beat-em-ups, until 2 summers ago when Street Fighter 4 came out, which I bought and got quite obsessed with, wanted to be very, very good at. Bought an arcade stick because I started playing in an arcade in London called Casino, where all the this is before Super came out and completely obliterated the arcade scene around here and everywhere, I guess. So yeah, I went there and all the pros played, all the Street Fighter 4 pros were there. Guys who had Guinness World Records for various things they'd done in the game, like Zach Bennett and Ryan Hart, and a couple of other people. Yeah, so I'd go and play them every Friday for a couple months until Super came out and fucked everything right up. It was fun. I fucking loved it. It was great. I beat Zach Bennett in one round once, and that felt sweet. And at some point he was watching me play someone else, and I did something good, and he said it was impressive, and that made me feel good. Yep, that's who I am. What I'd done was I was playing a Ryu who did an Hadouken in my face, and I was close enough that I could pull off the Ultra and it would skip past the animation, grab him, and I ultra'd him, and he died, and that felt great. It depends a lot on what emoticon it is and the context of said emoticon. Generally speaking, yes. Well, I don't know if that's true. It used to be true, but maybe I've mellowed in my old emoticon age. Anyone who uses a sticky out tongue or the winking face in a genuine way, yes, I will instantly lose respect for them. But it's certainly not a black and white delineation on whether it's okay or not. There's grey areas when it comes to emoticons. I'm going to preface this by saying I've only seen one episode. Of that episode, the stand-up was pretty good. Okay, I always like it when a comic comes out and it insults the people who have paid money, or at least banked on the idea that they would be in some way entertained. That's good. So the stand-up was alright. But the sketches were fucking abysmal. Everything about Mock the Week that sort of made Frankie Boyle relied on the limitations that were enforced by the show and, by the BBC, by it being on TV on the BBC. So there's this line he's sort of, pushing against, and you laugh at it. But with Tramadol Nights, it was like everything had just been taken away. All those limitations, any boundaries had just gone. And so it's just like, it just wasn't any longer any funny. And the fact he just relied completely on the fact that his sketches would be offensive and that
That was the only humour that could ever be better. He was just... My parents haven't paid for my existence since I lived at home. When I live at home, I get food. That's the extent of their paying for my existence. Right now, they've never been able to afford to help me in my life. I mean, no. When I was away, when I first went around Europe, my dad gave me a bit of money, and I get some money at Christmas and my birthday, but not a huge amount, not anything like enough to live on, £100 or something. When I'm at university, I live on the loan that I get from the government that I will eventually have to pay back. But until then, it's imaginary money. It's like, you know, I square root minus 1. Do you mean the TV channel Dave? I don't watch TV. It's sort of an archaic form of seeking entertainment for me. I just watch my computer. At home, when I was at home at Christmas, or when I'm at home, I watch Dave with my parents sometimes, because it has shit like QI, which is very sort of, something's on and it isn't making me want to kill myself very much. So I watch it then. Other than that, even my parents have a fucking computer hooked up to their TV that they download things on and watch. Even for them, the TV is drifting off. Sorry, hit you in the mouth. Ears even. My mouth, your ears. The microphone is what I'm referring to. So, yeah, that's the answer I said a while ago. Carried on talking. Well, pseudo-solipsism is what got me where I am today. In terms of this is me. I wouldn't be this otherwise. So I guess I'd push that idea, that ridiculous, stupid idea that works a treat, onto younger me. Fuck off. Onto younger me, in the hopes that I would become me sooner and be less timid, terrified, useless, stupid, waste. No. Just to push the process along a little bit more speedily. This message comes from a guy on VU called ShoeFan. And if you go on his page, it has a video. The question is, why don't you ever show your face? And the answer is a piece of paper with the word shame and a sad face on it. Which is a bit depressing. I can't actually indulge you, ShoeFan, because I don't own a single pair of high heels, nor have I ever. But I can show you the shoes I'm wearing right now. Here they are. They are, as you can see, remarkably stylish and sophisticated, you might say. Yeah, don't feel ashamed. Shame is a choice that you make, and you can feel whatever the fuck you want to feel about pretty much anything in life if you just put the blinkers on, as I choose often to do. Don't feel bad. Some people like shoes, I guess. Not me, but that's alright. I was actually very conservative in my gobbing. I started off with a fairly minuscule gob stream, which I sucked up, watched back, realised it really wasn't very impressive, unlike the final cut, which is incredibly impressive. So yeah, I went the conservative route of lengthening over time, of about 3 videos perhaps, to the gob I got to, and at which point I thought if I do it for this for much longer, I will be gobbing on myself. And that's not something I'm willing to do for this cause. So, 0, because I got style and panache with gobbing. It was a stamp from the night before when I went to see a band. I believe it said paid. It wasn't a barcode as far as I'm aware. The bands that I went to see were including The Carrier,
and a bunch of other bands I hadn't heard of. One called At Daggers Drawn, who are really good live, but pretty shit on recording because they like to talk. But yeah, the most notable event that occurred that evening was just looking over, oh, there's a guy taking a piss on the bar. That's fine, that's normal. That's not at all difficult to comprehend, and I'm not gonna stare at the piss, stare at the guy, stare at the piss, stare at the guy staring at me, stare at the piss, look away. No, that definitely didn't happen. Let's tell ourselves that over and over again every night before we go to sleep. No, I don't own any consoles. I have a Wii, but let's not even pretend that counts. I haven't played it. I used it last night to watch iPlayer because my computer was broken, but it's fixed now, so let's calm ourselves. I don't own any consoles because I have a fucking PC is the answer to your question. The only thing that would draw me to a PlayStation 3 is Red Dead Redemption, and I'm still entirely holding out. I would never buy a console for one game, or really out of principle any game, because I don't like the restrictions that consoles have put in place on games and the way in which games are made, and everything about consoles I am essentially against. So, no. I think that any good physics lecturer or writer or narrator should certainly inject some form of romance into proceedings. I mean, I think one of the main reasons I'm studying physics is because of how much I like science fiction. That is a sort of driving force. I am romantically involved with physics. It's not just a hard factoid scenario. So yeah, but on the other hand, some people take it too far and are generally loathsome. People like Brian Cox. You can probably see him around YouTube acting amazed and enthralled and just how fucking... Not fucking, sorry, he would never say fucking. It's just so cool, you know, physics is so cool, and he really wants to get that feeling across anyway. This is basically a bone I have to pick with someone you probably haven't heard of. But yeah, in general, let's get some romance involved. If you asked me this question 5 years ago, the answer would certainly have been yes, but that was because, and I thought about it a lot at the time, it was essentially because I had nothing to lose at that time in my life. Now, I have things to lose, and people are very annoying to me. People's habits and people's strangenesses, even people I really like, it grates on me like no other thing in the fucking world. And I remember I was listening to a radio program about somebody who'd basically, they're in a small location and they were isolated because it was incredibly cold outside or something. They were doing some research, and he was just talking about how much everybody's tiny little behaviours, in general, quirks, just slay you. And I feel like that most of the fucking time, and I'm not in a small isolated location with other people. So yeah, I think it would probably be a bad idea and would end ultimately in me committing suicide, and that would just muddy the place up with blood. Perhaps. No, let's take the cyanide option. Point being, it's still tough for me to say no outright to, and it's very easy for me to cast it off when it's just a hypothetical. It's still appealing. If I would come back, then quite possibly, but I would go insane. Of course I saved Rex. What kind of monster do you take me for? If somebody tells me they didn't save Rex, I instantly don't like them as much. It's just a factor of that person that has become apparent. That is, you know, it's not up for discussion. Kaiden or Ashley? I think I saved Ashley? I don't even remember, those people were so unappealing to me. I had no business with either of them because I cared so little for them both. Did I destroy the robot? Is this Mass Effect 2? Yeah. Yeah, I kept him. How can you destroy shit? How can you, like, kill things? Unless they're incredibly annoying. Kaiden actually fine kill them, but Rex and that robot, no. Just stop being such a monster. I do everything in my power to not have any destruction involved in any hard drive situation. Last night I spent a lot of time transferring files in command prompt to an external, not an external, but it was acting as an external. It was an internal hard drive, sort of on the floor next to the computer to which I was taking things. I spent a lot of time. I have a lot of stuff that I don't want to lose. Archives. No, I have never had urgent cause to destroy a hard drive. Keep them. Keep them all. Hoard. Digital hoarder. That's fine by me. Am I limited to a blunt object? Because that sort of puts the cabots on the whole weapon of choice situation that you have propelled toward me using this website. I would use my bow and arrow, but I was thinking about it, and actually I only have 8 arrows, which probably wouldn't get me very far. I don't think they'd be very easy to extricate from a brain. Plus, well, I don't think a bow and arrow would even work that well against zombies. You need some sort of blunt trauma. Bow and arrows mostly kill through loss of blood, which a zombie doesn't give a fuck about. So, I guess I'm fucked. Huh. Well, fortunately for me, I'm incredibly bored of thinking about zombies and playing against zombies. So, by the time it becomes relevant, I will just be tired of it. As I am now. Bored. I'm fucking bored of this shit. I care not, due to my immense boredom. So that would be my weapon of choice. My blunt weapon of choice is my own boredom at the whole genre. I'd say the Elusive Man is undeniably a baddie. They set him up pretty much as a baddie. It seems quite transparent. If he ends up not being a baddie, then I'll be interested in that. That will be an interesting development. But I don't imagine, nothing ever really interesting happens in a game. It's by the book and as expected. But there's room for that. At the end, spoilers! At the end you're given a decision that's, you know, do this or do this. That's what decisions are. I just highlighted that. Point is, one of them is sort of, you know, do this for science. It's kind of bad, but do it for science. And the other one is like, no, just don't do it. Just blow the shit up. It's bad. I went with the do it for science option because I felt like I like that. I like doing things for science, even if they're slightly controversial. But then by the end, it was just made it clear from everybody's absolute disgust that I'd done the baddie thing that the Elusive Man wants me to do. So before I play the next Mass Effect, I will go back and change that choice. That's something I don't like about Mass Effect, is the pure dichotomy between, like, good and bad, and it's what I don't like about the way Dragon Age is going. But that's a side issue, and this is now in the Too Long region. Yes, maybe he's an android. The Elusive Man was good, but it kind of felt like I'm going into the Martin Sheen room now, and it felt a bit tacked on, and that was a little bit disappointing. But, Elusive Man, foe in terms of the story, but I kind of enjoyed him, and whee! More enjoyable, I have to understand the motives of this person. This person's motives have to corroborate in some way with my own. This person is not a sort of cardboard cutout of several other billion humans. There are a lot of those. I meet them, and you look at them, and you realise that you've met this person before, many times, and this person is a bit annoying. But this person has shaped themselves to be that person, for some reason. More enjoyable. Other things that make them more enjoyable. They have knowledge in a niche sector. They have similar defining interests. They are funny. Unenjoyable. Just general idiocy is an unenjoyable factor. Loud people often are unenjoyable for me personally.